Okay, let's start. Good morning, everyone. I'm Chaoyue. I'm from University of Science and Technology of China. I'm currently an assistant professor. And thank you for having me here to introduce our study with Fan Yi Chan, Professor Aaron Leung, Professor Yulin Fang, and Professor Chaoyue. This work is entitled with ChatGPT-Empowered Product Recommendation and the Online of the Month. Okay, well, I want to start with this picture, which is generated by Midjourney. As you can see, in our daily life, that's actually after the release of the OpenAI's large language model, every aspect in our life gets empowered, like the online shopping, like the online education, like our coding or writing every day, and so on and so forth. And actually, a report disclosed by McKinsey represents 75% of the value that generative AI use cases could deliver for across the 4 Cs. That is cohesion, coding, consumer engagement, and the content generation. In which, in terms of the consumer engagement, actually there are some, you can think about that, some consumer co-plus in the online platforms it's actually can facilitate over 60% increments in the in consumer interaction and the service volume. Here, I will give you an example of the ChatGPT-empowered consumer co-pilot in online travel agency, Expedia. I will directly show you the instruction video from the official website of Expedia. So basically, you can see that it's based on the large language model, and you can ask any information about your destination, about the weather, the tourist attractions, and what's the best season to go there. And of course, their final aim is to lead you to make reservations on that platform. And you can input your own preference, your own requirements for the hotels, and they will give you a recommendation list of the hotel. And you can check the specific information. Yeah. Okay, we can think about that. Compare with the traditional product recommendation system, which is like the searching engine in the Expedia or Booking.com. We need to input the destination. We need to narrow down the selection by click all kinds of buttons, like the whether they have a pool, whether they can parking, and we need to browse all the hotel list and finally make decision. So basically, the whole process is unintelligent and not interactive compared with the ChatGPT-empowered product recommendation, right? And you may also ask, what's the difference between the traditional AI chatbots and the ChatGPT-empowered chatbots? And here I'll also give you the example by the case of Expedia, because Expedia still keeps the function of the traditional AI chatbots after the implementation of the ChatGPT-empowered chatbots. Here, like the example shows, under the same requirements, I'm planning 3 days trip to Hong Kong. Please recommend cheapest hotel with good rating. You can see that from the by the traditional AI chatbots, it cannot understand what you are saying. It's asks you search by yourself through the traditional search engine. But in terms of the ChatGPT-empowered chatbots, it can totally well understand what you are saying and give you good recommendations. So basically, its underlying reason is that for the well-applied traditional AI chatbots, it's basically based on the rule-based traditional machine learning algorithm. We need to use some keywords to activate some their response. So it cannot handle the contextual conversation. Well, for the ChatGPT-based chatbot, it's based on the generative pre-trained transform architecture. So it's very good at handling complex conversation, and it can give very good, much better interactive experience and give good recommendations. Okay, that's the difference. So before we propose our specific research question, we visit the literature first. Maybe some of the papers are from the audience here. And actually, we found that current literature mainly focus on the contributor side in terms of the online community. Some of the researchers investigate how the ChatGPT adoption will affect the labor market dynamics, how it will affect the artist creativity in the online art work marketplace, and how there are many works investigating how the ChatGPT adoption will affect the knowledge sharing in the online knowledge sharing community, such as whether it's a subsidiary effect or whether it can threat the sustainability of the knowledge sharing community. And what we found is that the related literature concerned about the ChatGPT adoption impact on the evolve, that is on online reviews is very limited. So as we all know, the online reviews or the e-worm is a very important source of information to for consumers to make purchase decision, and it's represents the sustainability of the platform as it's a long-standing topic in terms of the marketing and information system field. On top of that, in the area of large language model is become more important because as we all know, all the model is trained based on the large scale data, right? And it's it's very important foundational database for the model training, for the especially for the product recommendation chatbot, right? So knowing what's the impact of the ChatGPT adoption on the user-generated content on the online reviews is very important because it could either increase or decrease the review volume or introduce some content bias by the change of the review distribution, right? And it could further impact the recommendation performance of the ChatGPT recommendation. So that's why we focus on this specific research question. How does the ChatGPT empowerment affect the e-worm in the online platforms? Okay, to explore this research question, we draw the theoretical perspective of the social exchange theory, and this is very good theory for the suiting the nature of the contribution in the online communities such as online review community, online knowledge sharing community, and because of time limitation, I will not put it into details. So basically, to propose our hypothesis, we building on the underlying rationale that the reduce of the after the ChatGPT adoption, the reduce of the reliance on online reviews will decrease users' reciprocity behaviors, and will also weaken the contribution motivation factor like the repetition, like the altruism. So it leads to the hypothesis that ChatGPT empowerment will lead to a decrease in the review quality of the online reviews. And the ChatGPT empowerment product recommendation leads to a decrease also in the online review quality, which is reflected in the cognitive process words, analytics words, and the complexity, which reflect the cognitive effort embedded in the online reviews. Yeah. And here come to our heterogeneity hypothesis, our hypothesis 3. We consider the reviews into two different segments. One is positive rating segment, the other one is negative rating segment. For the positive rating segment, we may consider that some reviewers or some consumers may get advice from the chatbot, and they are basically satisfied with the chatbot. So they think about that they will reduce the reliance on the traditional online reviews, and so as to diminish the feelings of the gratitude and the sense of embeddedness, and because they get the advice from the robots rather than human, right? And they may think that others can also get the advice from the robot. So others may not need my advice. I will not contribute anymore. But for the negative rating segment, things could be different because those kind of consumers, they may also get the advice from the ChatGPT, and because they are dissatisfied with the service, so their reliance and the demand for the online reviews may persist, right? And they may think, well, then others still need my advice. By contributing in the community, I can still gain the repetition. I can still enjoy the feeling of the altruism. So I will still contribute. So we argue that, and moreover, as we all know, the writing the review is a very important way to vent the negative emotions and restore the psychological equilibrium. So by comparing the difference of the two segments, we propose that the decrements in the quantity and the quality are more permanent in the high rating review segment compared with the low rating review segment. That's basically our three hypotheses. Okay, here comes to our research context. Our research context is specifically the online travel agency. As we all know, there are two giants in this market. That's the Booking Holdings and Expedia Group, represent 92% of the whole market share. And Booking Holdings contains some sub-brands like the Booking.com, Kayak, Agoda, Priceline, and Expedia include Expedia, Hotels.com, Orbitas, Travelocity, and so on and so forth. And the event we focus on is the adoption of the ChatGPT-empowered chatbots by Expedia. The adoption is officially announced on April 4th, 2023. And Expedia both implement its function in its mobile app and also the ChatGPT plugin store. And in terms of data and measures, we collect data from 3 most visit destinations, as California, Texas, and Florida, which also represent different geographic regions in America. And we collected all the hotels of the 3 states from Booking, from Expedia. We collect the hotel ID, hotel address, other hotel info, and review ID, review content, days, and so on and so forth. And to eliminate some hotel-related unobservable characteristics, we matched the specific hotel of the 2 platforms according to their names and address. And finally, in terms of data sample, we got over 2,000 hotels in each state. And this is a measure of our review quantity and review quality. In terms of review quantity, we use the number of reviews published for a specific hotel on a specific week. And in terms of the review quality, we mainly measure the cognitive effort embedded. So we use the RWC dictionary to calculate the cognitive process word percentage and also the analytic word percentage. And we also use different kinds of readability package to calculate the readability score. Okay, for the specific research design, because we are kind of in a DID scenario, differences, we firstly check whether there are other kind of potential events could affect our estimation. And because Booking and Expedia, they are both public companies, so we can easily check it by the financial news websites such as Yahoo Finance and Thinking Alpha. And actually, after we check the event, we found that Booking adopt a similar chatbot after 2 months on July 28th. So we got a clean estimation that's 2 months before and after the event. And here is our specific research model. It's a conventional DID design, and probably you guys are familiar with that. The I denotes the hotel, and T denotes the week, and the P denotes which the review come from which platform. And of course, the treatment group is hotels on Expedia, and control group is the hotels on the Booking.com. And we use the 2 different estimation window, 4 weeks and 8 weeks before and after the event. And for the heterogeneity analysis, we utilize a comparison test. We're accessing the quantitative and quantitative measures of the model 1 to model 3 we just showed across different perceived experience quality of conception, reflected in the following review segments. And you can see that we divide the review into 3 segments, and the high review segment is 8 to 10, and the low review segment is 1 to 3, and we do not consider the medium review rating because we want to get a nice understanding of the influence of ChatGPT-Empowered, followed by a clear positive and negative comparison. Okay, because of time limitation, let me quickly go through our main findings. Of course, before we run our regression, we conduct the parallel trend test, and all the dependent variables satisfy the parallel trend assumption. And you can see that actually all those variables show very significant and consistent decrease. And so our hypothesis 1 and hypothesis 2 gets supported. And for about the hypothesis 3, we found that between the comparison of the 2 groups, the high rating review segment and low rating review segment, the decrease in the low rating review segment are generally not as pronounced as those in the high rating ones. And we also conduct the statistical comparison test, and it's very significant. And we conduct different kind of robustness check. We conduct the analysis in the separate subsample, and all the results still hold very robustly. And we rule out some alternative explanation, like the seasonal effect could lead to such kind of phenomenon. We use the synthetic difference method to rule out such kind of alternative explanation. And we also conduct some additional analysis to support that there are some social norm change because of the social exchange theory. And we use different variables like the Lex number to represent the social interaction. We use pro-social behaviors, the fulfillment index, also the affliction index calculated by RWC. and all the results show a very consistent decline in terms of the number and usage effective or different words. Yeah, and we because it's a negative effect, we want to consider whether there are some mitigation measures. And firstly, we want to explore the motivatory effect from the social media popularity perspective. And we found that actually the social media is a positive effect, and accordingly, we propose a mitigation measure by manipulate the social media post. Okay, summarize the key takeaways. Firstly, decrease because of the adoption of the chatbots, a decrease in the review quantity and the quality, and the decrease varies between the high rating segment and the low rating segment. So it's it's kind of imbalance. And we explore the potential mechanism and show some evidence, and we propose a potential mitigation measure. In terms of the practical contributions, we may notice that actually in the long term, because of the chatbot adoption, because of ChatGPT-Empowered chatbot adoption, the accuracy, the quality of the review, and also the imbalance of the review will introduce some content bias. So it could affect the future recommendation performance of the chatbot and threaten the stability of the platform. So that serves a cautionary signal to online platforms and calls for the implementation of the effective strategies to mitigate those negative effects. And we also urge consumers to access, produce, and avoid excel reliance on the ChatGPT-based recommendation. Okay, that's basically my presentation. Thank you for your time. And welcome. Yeah. Okay, please.
Did you clarify this mechanism why the trees we walk happen? This ChatGPT like put little back.
Sure, yeah. Because we want to get a clear comparison of the difference and to show the imbalance. For the middle part, we do not consider it's actually just refer some literature to do that, the simple comparison. And in terms of the mechanism, we mainly around the social exchange theory. There are different kind of concepts like the reciprocity behavior, like the repetition, like the altruism, and we draw our hypothesis from those kind of perspective. Yeah.
So the which among them you feel like it's the most support factor?
That's difficult to answer currently, but maybe we can explore further because there are many different kind of factors. Yeah, thank you.
How do you train the model was to operate talking specific prompts?
No, it's adopted by the Expedia officially. We do not train the model by ourselves.
Yes. You're on the demo?
Yeah, their adoption and events.
Well, you're not going to the brave listen. I would expect because the overseas yourself from the property that we're making too much with the surveys can whether you must speak back by giving the here and better reviews.
Yes. That's a very good suggestion. We will consider that later. We want to maybe we can do some lab experiments or do some survey to explore the mechanism. Thank you. Please.
Yeah, so basically you compare the before the chatbot and after, right? The quantity and the quality of the review. So I'm wondering whether you thought about maybe after the ChatGPT or some kind of a new method. So I'm wondering whether the way to collect the review will be the same before and after, and whether you consider after maybe a couple of months or years, maybe the way to collect the review could be more interactive, could be more the next generation way. So currently, maybe the way is still static way showing there, and the people going there to review. But after maybe some time, maybe there might be some new way to collect the review, so that maybe the result will be the different.
That you mean the website will manipulate the disposition of the review?
Yeah, I mean I mean the way to collect the review from the consumer. So for your research before adopt the chatbot and after adopt the chatbot will be the same as of today, but maybe in the future the way might be changed according to the new technology.
Yes, definitely, yes. But yeah, in our estimation, there are no such kind of factors.
Okay.
But in the future, yeah, it could be. It could be. We will consider if it happens. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Great. Let's have our next speaker.